Today I'm bringing you the review of the Acer Switch Alpha 12, a fully functioning computer that is able to be used in a tablet and laptop format. As you might know, I don't normally review Windows products, aside from a few here and there, but since it's a back to school season, this is definitely a great option to check out if you're looking for a computer or media player. This computer is available in a variety of different models and configurations that can suit any price point. It starts at just under $600 for an i3 model with minimum storage and RAM, and that price can range all the way up to just below $1,000, which is a configuration I have in front of me that features an i7 processor, 8 gigs of RAM, and a 512GB SSD. The Intel processors used are the latest 6th generation, which are fanless, so the device runs extremely quiet, especially since it also uses flash storage. Coming in at under 2.8 pounds and a 12-inch screen form factor, being a student, this was something that was light and easy to carry around for classes, and the included full-size keyboard folds nice and flat to the device as well. The angle made it very easy to type, and it is fully illuminated as well, so there is no problem when using this computer in the dark. And from my typing experience, I noticed that the keys were nicely spaced out and I was able to type very accurately, as keyboards are something that I'm normally very picky of. The included trackpad is decent, but definitely not the best out there, and for just daily tasks such as browsing the web and taking notes, it would be totally fine, but I would definitely recommend you to purchase a separate mouse. The main body of the Switch Alpha 12 is constructed out of aluminum for the most part, and the brush finish not only looks great but gives it a premium feel, which is always nice to see in laptops and smartphones. This is something that you're more than likely going to be carrying around all over the place, so it is nice to see that it has a rugged build to it, as it's going to be able to withstand a lot. On one side you're going to find your sleep and power button, the volume rockers, and the Windows button. And on the other side, you'll find a 3.5mm headphone jack, a single USB port, the power port for you to charge this thing, and a USB-C port for output. There is a USB Type-C dock that is sold separately that can turn this device into a desktop PC. At its size, the ports are able to cover all of your major needs, but it would have been nice to see them squeeze one or possibly two more USB ports in. The kickstand is built in and able to recline up to 165 degrees, so it gives you a lot of flexibility in the angles whether you are typing or watching a movie. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is a 2-in-1, so it serves as a laptop and a tablet format. At its size of a 12-inch display, it makes it perfectly suitable for both, and you can disconnect the keyboard very easily. So if you're out and about during the day hoping to take notes in classes, you can use the included keyboard and get all of your work done, but if you're just lying in bed and watching a movie or something, you really don't need the keyboard and you're able to disconnect it instantly. This computer ships with Windows 10 Home and is available in a number of configurations, whether you are looking for an i3, an i5, or an i7 processor, 128, 256, or 512 gigs of storage, or a 4 or 8 GB RAM configuration. That will really come down to your field of work, but in the end it is directed towards productivity, a type of computer that is geared towards students and business people. The keyboard and overall portability makes it great for taking notes in class, but certain models can also handle Photoshop and also some light video editing as well. I'm sure a lot of you would like me to talk about gaming. I'm personally not really a gamer, but with these specs and the USB-C dock that can be purchased separately, the higher end configuration should be able to handle mid-graphic intensive games. But as a productivity and media focused device, it does a great job in that category. Before I forget, this features a 12-inch touchscreen, and that is at a 2560 by 1440 resolution. This is an IPS LED display, and at this screen size and at this resolution, you get a really sharp and crisp image. Videos just look impressive on it, and as you can see, I'm watching my Samsung Galaxy Note 7 review in full 4K. Being an IPS panel, the viewing angles are great and the colors are also very vivid, but one thing I did notice is that this display definitely could have been brighter in my opinion, especially if you ever decide to take your laptop outside and perhaps watch a movie or do some work. But don't get me wrong, this display is very good. Also, before I forget to mention, it also has dual front-facing speakers, so once again, it makes it great for media consumption. An accessory that can also be purchased separately is the Acer Aspire Active Stylus. As the name implies, it allows one more touch function with the computer, so you already have the multi-touch display and obviously the ability to use the trackpad, but this just adds one other option. For the most part, you're not going to be using it for general navigation of the interface, but if you're looking to take notes with handwriting, you can do that with this pen. But for anyone who is into digital art and is hoping to draw in Photoshop or just create some general art on this computer, it is something that is very handy and also very fun to use, and I think $50 is a perfectly reasonable price. A great feature is that it also has palm rejection, so if you're taking any notes and your palm happens to touch a screen while you're trying to write something, you won't have any of the annoyances associated with that. Really, the only disadvantage is that it requires a small battery to operate. Understandably, something I've left until the end of the video is that you have a 5 megapixel rear-facing camera and a 2 megapixel camera on the front, but hopefully this is just something you will use for video calls and not to be taking photos in public with this computer. Other than that, it's time to wrap up my final thoughts of the Acer Switch Alpha 12 2-in-1 computer. So I think for its price, it offers a lot of flexibility. Starting at under $600 and going under $1,000, it is a very suitable price point for students looking for a solid computer. It is great that it doubles as a tablet and also includes the keyboard as well, and the fact that it is so portable and still has a decent battery life and a beautiful display is always great to see in something you plan to take around during the day. That being said, if I were to nitpick about anything, it would be that the display simply isn't bright enough for outdoor use or in bright situations, or the fact that the built-in trackpad is barely passable. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please hit that like button if you did, as it helps the channel out a bunch, and a huge thanks to Acer for sending this out for me to review and sponsoring this episode, and I'll see you all in the next one.